Hey everyone, so I've been asked like a million times to do like a quick on the go in a hurry makeup tutorial, like what if I kind of had to rush out the door in the morning but still have like pretty much a relatively full face of makeup on. So it'd be something like this that I'd go for, which isn't too over the top, but it would have a bit of colour and a bit of coverage and stuff in it. So this is exactly what it is. So I've already applied my moisturiser. It's just a Vichy Normaderm, and I give that a good few minutes to settle into the skin because it just needs to soak in so that there's nothing sitting on top of your skin. And then I'm going to use the Show Good Face. It's a primer and a foundation in one. And I'm just going to give that a good shake first. You need to do that to activate the primer. It's by Soap and Glory. Pop a little bit on my finger and just kind of dab it liberally all over, well, as liberally as you need. You can use your fingers all together to blend this into the skin. It works really well. This gives nice coverage as well without being too heavy. So I'm a real big fan of this foundation so far. And it's dewy, like a dewy finish without being shiny, which I think is kind of hard to get a good balance sometimes. So it's good for someone like me who's more combination, who shies away from the more shiny foundations, like say the Studio Sculpt My Back or something like that. So this is a good one for when you're in a hurry because it has the primer built in, so it'll save you doing one of the steps and it'll last pretty much all day. I'm using the Soap and Glory concealer again here. I like this because it's got a few products in one, so I don't need to go looking around for loads of different products. So I'm going to start off with the concealers, and I'm going to use the yellow toned concealer on my blemishes. Again, just using my fingers for these. These are ones that I use solely on myself, not on my kit. Pop them anywhere you need them. And this is in the shade Light, so it blends in really well with the shade of foundation I have from Soap and Glory, which was the fairest of them all. Again, it's the lightest shade. I popped some of this around my nose area. I have a really sore spot coming up there in the corner of my nose. It hasn't like surfaced yet, but it's there. And it is sore. But I usually pop a little bit of this just on the top of my nose as well because it's where I'm most freckly. And I have a blemish here as well. So just use your fingers to kind of pat it into place. And then this also comes with an eye concealer, which is the more salmon coloured one. And I'm going to use that around the eye area. And just put it a little bit over the eyelids as well. So this is what I do when I'm in a hurry. I don't go faffing around with loads of different brushes. If I have the luxury of time, I'll always use brushes, but often in the morning I don't have the luxury of time, especially if I have an early start, so it'll be this kind of application that I'd usually go for. So then once I have that much on, this concealer comes with a powder built in, which is so handy. It's in the top layer there. So I'm going to use the puff that comes with it and just press that over any of those areas where I put the concealer. And then anywhere where I don't want shine to show through. So this is such a handy product to get your hands on if you can, for touch-ups, even for throughout the day. Of course, Laura Mercier and Bobbi Brown do similar products, but this is much cheaper. This was only about €14. I'm just going to powder my lids a wee bit as well. Then for my eyebrows, I'm just going to brush those into place, since if I'm in a hurry in the morning I don't really fill them in too much unless I have extra time, but this is assuming I'm in a big hurry but still need makeup done. Then for eyeshadow, I usually go for something like this, which is just like a really plain but really nice pearl eyeshadow. This one's by Bourjois. And I'll pop a little bit of that under my brow bone and also on the inner corner of my eye. Pop a little bit, just sweep a wee bit there along the eyelid as well, just give a little bit more light. I like to sometimes just give a little bit of definition around the eye area without going too heavy. So this is a Pixie colour pencil. It's in the colour Black Tulip number 3. So it's a gorgeous, like, navy kind of purpley colour. So it'll go well with kind of my colour scheme today. And this is so soft, but it's pretty waterproof and it'll last all day, so I don't really have to worry about it smudging too much or coming off. And then just use a cotton swab to blend it into place. I have these cotton swabs just on the desktop, so I don't really have to go looking for a specific brush. These are just here and they work just as well. You can also put some of the pencil directly onto the tip of the swab and use that almost as a blending sponge or whatever you want to call it. So just like so, I'm just going to do that quickly to the other eye. I don't worry about that not looking neat because it is kind of slightly more grungy anyhow. So something like that. And then apply plenty mascara. So then for the cheeks, I like to use my Bourjois highlight again. This is a beautiful highlight because it's sheeny without being shimmery. Perfect colour for me as well. So just use like a medium shaped brush, medium sized brush. You can see there it gives a really beautiful highlight. And then if you have time, you could add a little bit of contouring, but you could say it's an extra stage, but it literally takes maybe 30 seconds. Just add a little bit using the same brush. So I'm just using my Illamasqua primal one here. I think this one's discontinued, but you know, something like Cubic or Tenderling or Sculpt by MAC would work perfectly. And then for the lips, I use something like this is really handy. This is the Pixie, it's called the Succulent Lip Twin. So it's like a lip stain and a lip gloss in one. Now, I'm still not that confident with wearing lipstick yet with my braces. But I've been wearing this a little bit before I got them on. But it's just so handy to apply because it's almost like just applying a lipstick. Just use your finger to kind of blend that out. I don't worry about this looking too perfect because it is kind of like more like a stain. And then once you've that much on, if you go into the second layer, so the first part there is in the lid, and then this lip gloss part is just the normal part. So just get a wee bit of that out and pop that onto the centre of the lips. Just like so. So that's just a really quick handy way, and again it'll be handy for touch-ups because you have the two of them in your makeup bag, you know, to use for a bit in later. And if you wanted, you could always use a tad of this part on the cheeks as a wee bit of blush. But only add a wee bit so that it's not too pinky. And that's pretty much it. I'd be happy to kind of run out the door like this. The only other thing I would do would be to add a quick eyebrow. So I could use something like I've been using the Sleek Eyebrow Kit a lot lately. So something like that with an angled brush. I'm not just going to apply them now because I want to do an eyebrow tutorial in a second. But yeah, this would be a really quick look that I could use if I was in a hurry or maybe doing a really early wedding where I needed, you know, I wanted to have a bit of makeup on or whatever. And without going overboard, this would be something that I might go for. But yeah, hope you enjoyed this. Thanks a million for watching, guys, and I'll chat to you soon. It's done.